Okay, so I want to go over this disaster battle extreme Valenti because honestly, she is really tough. And not only because you have to pretty much use Sariel for it. I mean, you can use Derriere for sure, and I mean, there's other characters that you might be able to use like Red Escanor, but they're not going to be nearly as consistent. And I mean, honestly, I think if you do this one time on extreme and get the diamonds from it, you probably want to move to a lower difficulty to kind of farm them like the resources after that, because this thing is just super annoying. So like going over the like actual fight itself, Sariel is the best unit for this by far, because he takes 30% less damage, and like for Valenti, she has a passive unique that makes it to where she takes 30% or 50% extra damage from sever skills, which his AoE has. So he's obviously going to be a big unit for this. But yeah, she's really annoying in general because in the first phase she actually has a green Valenti's passive, so pierce rate's cut down, and then she has the new blue seasonal Valenti's passive as well, which makes it to where if you use a buff skill, you cannot use attack skills, or well, I don't think this is exactly how the blue seasonal Valenti's passive works, but if you use buff skills on this, it's actually going to make it to where attack skills and ultimate move skills are not going to be able to be used for 2 turns on the character that buffs. So that's really annoying. So you have to kind of make sure that you're buffing and doing like that the other kind of stuff for another character that's not going to be using buffs, or else you're just kind of screw yourself over. Another thing is you can't really use debuffs on the character in the first phase, because she's going to get she's going to double her HP basically for every debuff that she has on her, which makes her incredibly tanky. She obviously can't be like stunned or frozen or anything like that, which is I guess just icing on the cake. And then on the second phase, she actually has some really interesting moves. So she prevents the boss ultimate move gauge from filling for 1 turn when the ultimate move gauge is increases. So this is really interesting because she puts a debuff on herself, which isn't like the biggest deal, because I mean, in general, she doesn't have that same passive from the first phase, but she just has some really dumb sort of like things going on with her in this second phase. This one specifically, at the start of the battle, applies 1 fear effect on 2 random enemies for 2 turns. When hit by an enemy affected by fear, the skill will miss, excludes ultimate moves. So basically what this means is you want to go into the second phase with ultimates in hand, and hopefully RNG doesn't screw you over and make put the fear effect on your Sariel, because he's going to be the one doing the big damage here. So she also, just because of the way that she works, this rocket punch move is going to block all skill effects, including those of ultimate moves, and it's an AoE for her in this specific fight. In the regular Valenti fight, it's not an AoE, but the regular Valenti doesn't have it as an AoE. But yeah, she's really annoying. There's a lot of mechanics to this. We're going to try it with an AI just because I just want to see if I could be able to do it without having to invite somebody just for the sake of the video. But yeah, having a buffing unit and something like that, somebody to increase your attack related stats for your Sariel, is going to be really nice. The only problem with using a bot is I've already tried this once before, and the Gother ended up using his debuff skill, and it kind of messed some stuff up, but it ultimately wasn't like the end of the world. But we're basically, I'm going to try to make sure that I don't make the same mistake as I did last time, where I'm going to try to make sure I go into the second phase with decent cards in hand, and we already have ult ready to go and to be used. Obviously the AI is probably going to do its own thing, and it might not cooperate as much with us, but if you can actually find someone that plays the game that has a decent team that you can kind of like duo and pair up with to do this fight, it's going to make it a lot easier, because just you're not going to be able to do this extreme fight solo, I don't think, unless you're just very, very lucky with how your cards draw and everything like that. So it looks like we're getting an attack buff. Let's go ahead and buff up on Sariel here, and then we should be able to try and use this skill, and it should deal a pretty decent amount of damage if I'm not mistaken. So he does 122,000 with his single target attack. The sever skill is going to do 50% extra damage, so let's see how much it does right here. So a really good chunk, almost 300,000 damage just off of that one card. We want to make sure that we're trying to go into the second phase though with our ultimate, just in case he does or she puts the fear effect on us like at the beginning of the second phase. So I'm probably going to just try to burn some cards in hand here and try to rank up some of these Sariel cards. So I'm just going to, well, I think I'm going to use both of these attacks right here and then move this over. I'd like to keep from merging a whole bunch of Sariel cards if possible, so that way I can use them in the second phase. Ooh, I might end up, I hope this doesn't kill. Oh, that put a debuff on too. So you can see how much it cuts the damage down. Forgot that he has a debuff on the first skill now, like if the bronze card. Okay, so he's gonna kill this turn for sure. I think we're just gonna move cards around and then throw out this bronze card so that way we can pull our ultimate, and then we'll try to go into the second phase with ult in hand and try to see how that goes. Obviously, it's still very hit or miss on whether or not I'm actually going to be able to burst her down quick enough here, but if you kind of let her build up, she's going to start taking down your units, and it will get very bad. So my Sariel did actually end up getting fear, which is very unfortunate there, so we're just going to throw that out, and I guess we're just going to move cards because we really can't do a whole lot other, you know, like anyway. I could have maybe used the Gother cards, but it is what it is there. Alright, so put Dissolve on. Here comes the ultimate. I only have like a 2/6 Sariel, so this isn't going to be like super crazy damage. Oh, okay, well it actually ended up doing really well. So yeah, definitely recommend going into the second phase with an ultimate for sure if you can, because that fear definitely will screw you over. Like I said, I did this with an AI. You might be able to do it with an AI as well if you can find one that, you know, you can kind of pair with. If not, I definitely recommend trying to find a friend or somebody like that to do it with. So I don't know, this one's pretty tough. I like this event. It obviously gives you a pretty decent amount of diamonds just from doing each of the difficulty levels on each of the fights. And then, you know, the exchange shop is pretty good. The only thing that I don't really like about it is the fact that each one of these fights gives their own exchange shop material, and I kind of wish there was just one material for the shop in general, and they just kind of blended it together, so that way you don't have to worry about getting specific materials from specific fights and stuff like that. It's just, it seems kind of dumb, seems kind of like annoying. It's just, I don't know, personal preference, I guess, but that is pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys are enjoying all this new content and stuff like that for the game. This update was really big for just like free, you know, sort of like events and stuff like that in the game, and they're giving out pretty good amounts of rewards and stuff like that. So yeah, pretty cool. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. See you then.